You're listening to Gaming Buzz, your source for information and entertaining discussions about video games for video game enthusiasts. With your hosts, Jacob, Darien, and Christian, all huge nerds who can never have too many games. Now, let's get this started.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Gaming Buzz. My name is Jacob, and as always, I'm joined by the lovely Christian.
Well, thank you.
And the tolerable Darien.
Hi. Thanks.
And today, we're going to be talking about a pretty fun subject. We're taking a break from our discussions we've been doing on genres, and this week, we're going to be covering something nice and fun. Video games that deserve remakes. So what we mean by that is there are many games out there from years past that are still good, but maybe their graphics aren't good enough, or maybe gameplay for that genre has evolved past where they were at, but they still hold a special place in our hearts, and we'd like to play them still. So what we're looking for are games that need just a little bit of an update so we can play them again. Now, there are two different ways that can be done. One, they can be an HD remaster, meaning they take the same game and they slap a new coat of paint on it and make it HD, perhaps force it to stretch to widescreen, and make it run a little bit better, and there you go. Or you have a full-fledged remake, where they take the game, say, here's what it was, but we're going to do it again completely from scratch using modern technology. A good example of that would be the soon-to-be-released, not too soon, but within the next year or so, this is dating the video, but whatever, release of Final Fantasy VII, which is a complete new version of the game, using none of the original's code. We've each picked a few games we would like to see get remade. Let's start with one from you, Darien.
The first one on my list would be a remake of Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Oh, you mean the best Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, the one with the most personality.
Mm-hmm. It's the funniest, it's the most colorful, it's the most interesting character and location-wise. I totally agree with you. I mean, they've ported the game to other consoles, but it's been the same.
Yeah.
Now, would you like to see just an HD version or a full brand new game based in Vice City?
I would love them to expand the map more, but basically just do a complete remake and use the same game engine used for Grand Theft Auto 5.
That would be excellent.
And it would be nice if it was just like an expansion too to Grand Theft Auto 5. I would even be happy with that.
I would love to see Grand Theft Auto 6 take place in Vice City, because Vice City is by far the coolest location they've come up with for the Grand Theft Auto series.
Yep, I agree with that. And oh my gosh, most of my time I spend just cruising around and playing with cheat codes.
Oh, we've discussed that before in our cheat code episode.
Flying cars.
And I think one of the best parts of this game is its radio stations.
Oh, excellent, especially since it takes place, Vice City takes place in the 80s, and it has an excellent soundtrack.
Man, just listening to Hispanic music.
I V-Rock. That's my favorite station.
Oh, yeah. Now, what about you, Christian? What's the first game you'd like to bring up?
Let's have a remastering of Crash Bandicoot.
I knew that was coming. If you had to choose between 1, 2, and 3, which would you prefer?
Number 1, actually. Because some of the mechanics, it does need a little bit of cleaning, even though the game is perfect, but more fluid. That's what it needs.
Now, do you want a remaster or a remake?
Actually, a remake would be nice, with the new textures and gameplay. Maybe they can, they could do 1, 2, and 3 at the same time in one disc.
Now, see, the cool thing is there's actually quite a big possibility of this happening, as Sony's been teasing something big with Crash Bandicoot for the past year, and we don't know what it is yet.
It does seem to raise my eyebrow a little bit.
Like in the PlayStation experience, that one dude had the Crash Bandicoot shirt. I'm like, where's the heck is Crash? Well, he's in the shirt.
That's what they are secretly teasing. Not a new video game, but a Crash Bandicoot fashion line.
Fancy.
Is it bad I'd actually buy clothing from that?
Where you have jeans, shoes, and the gloves, and that's it.
So the first item on my list, I can't have this discussion without bringing up Pokemon Snap. It's basically become a meme. Like, there are so many people saying we want a new Pokemon Snap or a remake of Pokemon Snap or anything at all. Because Pokemon Snap was wonderful. And I love it. Everyone loves it. If you've played it, you love it. Now imagine that with more.
Oh, yeah. Like, taking pictures of all 700 plus Pokemon, that'd be pretty crazy.
I wouldn't have a life for like 3 months. Because I'd be completing my picture decks.
Gotta pick them all, I guess.
No, you just gotta catch them all. On film!
Yeah.
But the question is, would it use film or would it be a nice digital camera? These are the questions we need answers to, Nintendo. Get on it.
Get Professor Oak on the line.
Maybe it'll use a digital camera, and then we can put an SD card in the system and then put it in our computer and print it that way instead of going to Blockbuster.
And we need it to be updated for the modern age. So not only can you take pictures of Pokemon, but you can take selfies with them with a filter and put them on Instagram.
Yeah, you don't even use a camera in the game. You use a phone. You just take out your phone.
Get
Twitter.
on it, Nintendo. What's your next game you'd like to talk about, Darien?
I would like to see an F-Zero GX HD remaster.
Just a remaster, right?
Just a remaster.
Because that's all it needs.
Yeah, that game is basically... It doesn't need any updating. I mean, the game is really hard, and people complain if it was released in this time because it's so difficult.
Well,
But
yes.
I feel like we need that.
Well, yes and no. I'd agree with you, but also, this is the era of Dark Souls. So maybe we need more hard video games.
Did someone say Dark Souls?
I've seen way too many people crying about Dark Souls being too hard. They're like, there should be easy mode. I want to beat the game. It's like, no, you have to be persistent.
Right, but there are also... Dark Souls would not be as successful as it is if it weren't for its difficulty. But that's a totally different discussion. Let's move on.
But
Like a 2-hour discussion.
I'd like to see the remake of F-Zero GX just have more polished visuals. Maybe see higher polygon models because, the new systems can do it.
And a better draw distance.
Yeah, even though the draw distance is quite excellent on the original, it would be nice to see them bump it up so you can see the entire track at one time. Like, there's weird pop-in in some tracks.
And at full 1080p, 60 frames per second, and in widescreen?
I would rather see it in 120 frames a second as long as your display can support it. That'd be amazing.
Do you want the Wii U to explode?
Yes.
You want the Wii U to explode?
Well, it's not really going off with a bang as I already see it.
But shh.
Who said it's going to be on the Wii U?
NX launch title.
F-Zero GX 2016. Woo.
What about just F-Zero HX?
Oh my god. No.
Christian, what's your next game you'd like to talk about?
I would like The Legend of Zelda on the NES remake completely using the Link Between Worlds engine.
Well, I definitely agree with you that it needs to be remade, but recently some fans released a fully 3D version of the original Legend of Zelda as a browser-based game.
I know.
I played it. I had more fun with that game. This is one of those controversial statements from me. I'm well known for them. I had more fun with that fan-made 3D original Legend of Zelda game than I have had playing any official Legend of Zelda game since the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Well, I agree with you. I also played that, but then Nintendo went and like, ban Hammer.
Oh, I didn't get to it because as soon as I heard about it, the cease and desist already happened. So
Yeah, that sucks because that was a really good experience. It basically, if you want to experience it, Darien, you can't, but you can get close. Go on your PlayStation 3 and play 3D Dot Heroes.
it's just not the same.
It's pretty close.
I've been looking for that game for a while.
Christian has it, don't you?
I didn't say anything.
We both want it from you, so we're just going to sneak into your house. We know where you live.
And we'll share it. We're going to both burgle your house for it, and we're going to share it behind your back.
Well, we're going to cut the disc in half.
And then you can't play it. Good job.
If I can't play 3D Dot Game Heroes, no one can.
If we can't play it, you can't play it, and that's our goal.
So the next game I want to talk about, it would feel very wrong for me to not mention Metal Gear Solid. Specifically, MGS1. Jeez, that game needs a new coat of paint.
Wait, wasn't that one already remade on the GameCube?
It was, and that's not good enough.
You need to see it in like this semi-realistic, because we're not getting there yet. We're not real yet.
Well, before the whole issues between Kojima and Konami happened, it was teased that Kojima was working on a full remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 using the Fox engine.
Oh my.
And they did release one or two screenshots of it. I want it so bad, but, Konami.
The Fallout.
So we'll never get it, which makes me sad. But I have seen a couple of fans re-release parts of the game as free-to-play demos that you can get using the Unreal 4 engine.
That's going to be pretty.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's a solid experience.
You're really grinding my gears.
You both get medals for your puns.
Oh. We did it. We broke the internet.
Oh.
What's your next game you want to talk about, Darien?
I would like to see like a Need for Speed Underground/Underground 2 remake or sequel. Like, yeah, we're not talking about sequels, but I'd like to see these games again, but on current gen hardware without being skimped back, as they usually have been. Like, Need for Speed has kind of fell downhill when it came to like the tuner culture. I loved that game because you could just customize your car, and it looked so stupid, but I loved it.
Racing games. Not my forte, so I'll just say, yup. I'll just assume you're saying something intelligent. I mean, I know what they are, but I haven't really played them that much, so I don't know.
I'll have to let you play one of the Undergrounds. Underground 2 is better. I'll let you play that. You have like tons of miles of road at your own leisure. And Christian, what is the next one you want to talk about?
Man, you know how Nintendo has all those Mario games, right? What about Wario Land? Remakes of the Game Boy ones. Or,
How about all 4 or 5 of them?
well, yes.
Mario Land, Mario Land 2, Mario Land 3, Wario Land 2, Wario Land 3. Let's get them all remade using modern graphics, all in one compilation.
Because the Wario games are so creative and completely different from... You just play as Wario, anti-hero, and it's like very fun to play as the villain.
And they're fun. That's probably the most important thing. I mean, even Super Mario Land, like being that it's really simple, still incredibly enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
I'll still go back to it and beat it easily. Same for the Wario Land games. Like the Wario Land games give more challenge and they're more puzzle based. Well, most of the time, but they're so fun. And I would love to see what they could do with like HD or completely remake of the series.
Now, would you prefer this as a console game or a handheld experience?
Either or, to be honest. But I would like a handheld version because that's how it started.
And if I can interject, there was the Wii version of the Wario Land games.
Wario Land Shake It?
Yeah, if they released an HD remaster or just an HD release of it, that game would just shine like really nice because everything is like hand drawn. And
That's a game that completely went under my radar. And believe it or not, I only found out it existed a couple weeks ago. And I want to play it really badly. It looks so fun.
it's also really nice looking too. Like the animations, holy crap.
Everything's hand drawn. It looks beautiful.
Oh, saying that about a game with the nasty Wario in it. Ugh.
So Jacob, what about you? You have something special to say, don't you?
I sure do. Christian, do you remember a few months ago when, as part of a Valentine's Day celebration on Steam, Valve and Sega partnered to give away several of Sega's games for free?
Yes.
And one of them was Jet Set Radio, the PC port of the original Dreamcast game. And I got it. I mean, I already had it on Dreamcast and on PlayStation 3, but I got it anyways. I mean, it's free and it's a game I really like.
It's really fun too.
And I played it on PC and I had a blast. And then I was looking at my shelf at the Xbox games I have, and I go, hey, you know they released a sequel. I pull it out, Jet Set Radio Future. The sequel, which is better than the original in every single way imaginable. And I go, well, what did they release this on? Only on the Xbox. They've never re-released it. And that baffles me. Why? Why have you not re-released it? Why?
I'm gonna say it's just probably because of the licensing with Microsoft, and that's pretty much it. That's how far my thought goes.
I have no idea why not, but I don't care how much red tape there is. I desperately want to play that game again with potentially better graphics and sound.
Ooh, yeah, that game is pretty gorgeous.
And, you know, this was not something I planned to talk about, but I have a second game that's in this same boat. Shenmue. And Shenmue 2. Shenmue 2 got me thinking because in the US it's an Xbox exclusive and it's in the same boat as Jet Set Radio Future. You know, being that Shenmue 3 is coming out, now's the perfect time to re-release Shenmue and Shenmue 2 in HD together.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been looking forward to it, even though I've heard it's an excellent series. But yeah, I would definitely want to see that one being remade.
I put up with playing the entire game using the Dreamcast D-pad because it's so good.
That's a trooper.
I do have a question. What type of genre is Shenmue? Because I have no idea.
I'd say it's a sandbox game, kind of similar to your Grand Theft Autos, but also completely not like Grand Theft Auto.
It's got a super Japanese feel to it, and it has a little bit more of an identity for itself.
The games I'd say that are most similar to it are the Yakuza series and Sleeping Dogs, where you have an open world city to explore with lots to do, and it's all like the combat is all hand-to-hand based. But just like those series, it's more well known for the side stuff. In Shenmue, you can go and collect gachapon figures, and you can play in arcades, and it's basically like a tour of Japan in a game, and it's awesome. And it has a cheesy soap opera story to go along with it.
So, life simulator.
Yeah, a weeaboo life simulator.
And it also has really funny jokes in it.
It does, and it was way ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked.
There are so many elements that are like staples of gaming nowadays that came from Shenmue. Like the QuickTime event.
Oh, those.
Oh,
Okay, that one's not a great example,
Well,
but
Dragon's Lair was way ahead of its time because it was basically QuickTime Event the game.
simulator.
that is true. Dragon Slayer,
Beautiful to watch, crappy to play.
QuickTime Simulator, 1991. Now, what is the next game you want to talk about, Darien?
This may sound really weird, and it's like the only Disney published game that I actually really like, and it's the Spectrobe series. I would love to see them do an HD remake of every single game, including the Wii and the 2 Nintendo DS titles, because it's one of those games that it's like the catch-em-all formula, but instead of catching them all, you have to go and search out in the fields and dig up all of their fossils. And I think this game would actually be upgraded by HD visuals and just being remade because there's so many creative monster designs, and it's just one of those games that the worlds are huge too. Like it was on the Nintendo DS and Wii, but the DS games is where it's at for the series. So those ones I would rather see being remade because they're just really fun.
I have played some of the Spectrobes games. They're not bad. I like them. Not my particular favorite series, but they're fun. And that's good enough for me to deserve a remake or a remaster.
Yeah, and they're quite impressive already on the Nintendo DS, but I just wish that everybody else could see them if they didn't have one. Christian, what is the next one that you want to talk about?
Well, I was torn up about this one, but I was gonna say Mega Man.
Of course you were.
I was gonna say the original classic Mega Man, but it just got remastered on the 3DS, PS4, and Xbone.
That's just a port.
Well, yeah, it's still remastered though because it's all cleaned up.
Yep, upgraded to native 1080p.
Yep, with the new engine and all. But then I was thinking, what about the X series? I was born with it, raised with it, taught by it. and there's if people played Mario Contra X, that was also a great game. They could potentially just continue that as a complete remake with the Mario Contra X series, like 2, 3, 4, 5.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, it looks gorgeous, so why not?
Yeah, and then just make it HD. Better. We have a Vita, right? That can do complete HD pretty much.
I don't know, dude. Expecting a major company to release a game on a Vita seems like a long shot these days.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
then PS4.
the Vita's pretty much your Atlas, Marvelous, Xseed machine now.
Don't forget your indies.
Oh yeah, those two.
But man, Mega Man is like a cash cow. It shoots mud instead of lemons, shoots cash coins. Pew pew pew.
So the next game I want to talk about, and as soon as I mention it, I know he's going to jump in on it because he loves this game just as much as I do. And I believe we actually talked about it in the last episode, which we recorded on RPGs.
Yes.
Final Fantasy VII is getting its remake. Final Fantasy X just got its remake. It's actually just a remaster, but it comes with Final Fantasy X-2 as well, so it's cool. Where's Final Fantasy XII? Where is it? The most gorgeous Final Fantasy game.
On the PS2.
No, ever.
Yeah, it
It's
is really nice.
Beautiful. I want it in HD. Big widescreen HD on a PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PC, anything. That game needs to come out again.
Oh my god, that's the game, that's the Final Fantasy that taught me how to play Final Fantasy. Like, I would love to see that.
Still my favorite Final Fantasy game. And more people need to experience it. And what better way to do that than, say, putting it on Steam, $10.
Yeah,
There we go.
I would be an instant buy from me. I would find out the release date, and oh my god, I would buy that now.
Well, that's actually all the games I have to talk about. What about you, Darien? Do you have anything left?
I do not.
Christian, save us.
I'm sold out.
It doesn't look like our needs and wants for these remakes are real big.
Well, I don't think it's a case of us wanting every game under the sun from our childhood to be remade, because some of them say, I really love Super Mario Sunshine, but updating it wouldn't increase the effect the game has at all. The game's perfectly fine as it is on the GameCube. And others are games that we played a lot as a kid and then realized, oh, this game really isn't so good. Zathura, Darien.
Yes, Zathura is poopy. I have to go back on my word on that. Zathura is not that good.
I think we've all had games like that where we thought they were excellent as children and then went back and they're like, oh no. Like Christian and Mega Man, right? You now realize how terrible Mega Man is, right?
Well, Mega Man 8 and 6 and 7. Well, it's X6 and 7, even though X6 is okay, but anyway.
Or the one
X8 is real bad.
the one on the
No,
PS
X8 is great. Wait a second.
or the one on the PS1 that's like run text box. Then
Oh, that's which one is that? That's X5.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah.
one that you just get the text
that's-
boxes.
That's X6, right?
X5 has a bunch of text boxes.
Yeah, X5.
It's like dash. Oh, well, there's a text box. God damn.
Mega Man!
You just killed everybody.
I just killed my own ears when I'm editing. Sorry, Jacob. Now, guys, what is one game you would say doesn't need a remake? A game that they should just leave where it is?
The original Star Fox.
Dude, I totally agree with you. Like, Star Fox, sure, it looks like a jagged mess nowadays, but in a good way.
It's its charm. Like in Star Fox Zero, they actually brought it back as an Easter egg.
which is really cool. And I like that style, and I think it's timeless, honestly.
It definitely shows off that primitive polygonal technology that they were developing back then, so we could actually try to get a sense of space.
So the one thing I would like to see, if they, say, re-release it, especially now that the new 3DS has Super Nintendo support, I'd like to see it, same exact game, the only difference being it running at a higher frame rate.
Yeah, but we'll probably never see that because there's some weird legal stuff going on with Nintendo and the chip manufacturer, so I don't think we'll ever see any Super Effects games.
Who knows? Another game I think should never be remade, The Last of Us, because they already did that way too soon. The remaster came out less than a year after the original release. Why?
Well, it's for the people who never owned a PS3, and, some people don't want to go and buy that system, even though it's so much cheaper than the PS4.
But it's still dumb.
Yeah, it's making me kick myself because I'm like, I want the remaster, but I already have it on PS3, and I've already played this game, already, and it's like, why? And Christian, what would be a game that you don't think needs a remake?
I honestly think Spyro. I like how it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Spyro games, you're talking the PS1 trilogy, right?
Yes, of course.
They hold up really well.
I actually kind of like the way it is with the PlayStation 1 and like how the polygons and all that stuff would warp around the edges of the screen. It adds some life to the game. Like it gives it that PlayStation 1 charm that never needs to be removed.
All right, that was a really fun discussion. Now, before we end this discussion, I got to ask you guys, what game are you playing this week? Darien, tell me what game you're playing this week.
I am actually not playing a single game this week. I am playing the entire Senran Kagura series again.
You're obsessed.
It's one of those series that
You're obsessed.
I am studying the series. Like there's so much that I have planned around this series, and I have to study it.
Darien?
Yes?
In truth, this wasn't an episode of Gaming Buzz. This is an intervention for you. And you're next, Christian, you and your Mega Man.
Well, I'm playing Dark Souls 2 because,
Oh.
yeah. Oh, wait. You didn't answer the question. What have I done? I broke this.
You're playing Dark Souls 2?
Oh, that reminds me. I have to go now and I have to buy Dark Souls 3 right now.
Right now.
Right now. Like,
All right, we better end this discussion quick so you can go pick up some Dark Souls 3 action.
ooh.
So why are you playing Dark Souls 2?
Because I'm saving up for a PS4, and my laptop will not run it.
Aww.
I know.
You should join the PC Master Race with me.
That's
Use
more
my-
expensive.
My beautiful GTX 960 and 16 gigs of RAM. Play it at 1080p max settings, max frame rate.
He wants his sad box. I mean, it's that sad blue color with Nathan Drake looking kind of sad on it. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
it speaks for itself
it's because it's the last game.
that we know of.
Well, do you guys know what game I'm playing this week?
What are you playing?
I am playing... This week, I'm going to be playing Monster Rancher 3 on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, we also talked about that last episode.
We sure did, and it got me in the mood to play it. And it was sitting on my shelf. I picked it up recently. In fact, Christian and I showed it off in a video we did. Check that out.
Shameless plug.
Pickup video number 1. Go, 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 go. Shameless plug. Go.
That game is going to have a history with our podcast.
It's a really good game, though, and the gimmick of randomizing your monsters based off of the random CDs and DVDs you have in your house is a really cool concept. Visitor sponsors make this podcast possible by visiting gamingbuzz.com/sponsors. If you like this episode, make sure to share it on Facebook and Twitter with your friends, or you can leave a show review. You can do so by visiting gamingbuzz.com/16. Gaming Buzz is a proud member of Newsmakers Podcast Network, an ever-growing network of podcasts covering many business and entertainment topics. Check them out at npcn.tv. And as always, I'm Jacob.
I'm Darien.
And this is Christian.
Thanks for listening to Gaming Buzz. New episodes can be found on gamingbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.